Alright, what is going on, boys? It's been a while since I uploaded one of these videos, but we got a weekly market outlook coming at y'all for this upcoming trading week, just going over the market in general on a higher time frame, and just a general outlook for the week coming up ahead. So let's get into it, man. Obviously, clearly on the higher time frames, we are bullish on the daily, on the weekly. If we go and look at the weekly time frames, we have inversed pretty much every weekly bearish fair value gap within the range here. Actually, we're within this higher weekly fair value gap on NQ currently, but all these ones down below we have inversed. So the next high time frame drawn liquidity for me is honestly going to be all-time highs, and these monthly highs up here. If we just look at the monthly chart, we are, or I guess the month is over. So if we go to the monthly chart, we inversed this monthly fair value gap, this monthly bearish fair value gap on both of these indexes. Look at this insane monthly candle wick. That's the most insane monthly candle wick I've ever seen. That's crazy, bro. But yeah, we inversed the bearish monthly fair value gap on both ES and NQ. So with that being said, like, I'd expect, like, this is a recovery from the extremely bearish tariff news headlines. So that's very good news just for the market outlook as a whole. And we are making our way up to these monthly highs and all-time highs. So scaling to the daily chart, getting a little bit of a bigger picture. I don't love how we have, let's just go full screen NQ because it's pretty much the same thing on ES. I don't love how we completely swept and wicked out this daily liquidity up here. So with that being said, this daily fair value gap is going to be, we currently held it on Friday, but it's going to tell the story of what we're going to do for the week as a whole. And I say that because, yes, on the higher time frames, it looks good to push up to these monthly highs, these all-time highs, but we do still have this big weekly fair value gap down here, as well as it was a new week opening gap marked by these blue lines. That's just a big gap in price. Like if we go to the 1 hour chart here, we can see it's a big gap in price that has been unfilled. So with that being said, this daily fair value gap is going to tell the story for us. We swept out this high, and we have now come back down and rebalanced to the daily imbalance. So how we react off of this level is going to determine the bias for the week as a whole, honestly. Yesterday, on Friday, I'm currently filming this on Saturday. I will release this over the weekend before the new trading week. We originally came down and started to displace lower below this swing low, and if we had invalidated this daily fair value gap, then I would be bearish, like, completely to this daily low, and then to this weekly fair value gap, to this new week opening gap from 2 or 3 weeks ago now, because this is a weekly fair value gap, which starts at this daily sell side liquidity. Let me just mark that out, slash weekly BISI. So this is an important level here. So if we start to get bearish structure from here, and we start to make our way down, let's say we close below this swing low and start to, you know, pull back, open up bearish imbalances, pull back to a bearish imbalance here, like, I would be bearish in this scenario for sure until we take this daily sell side, and for sure until we tap into this weekly bullish imbalance. But if we make it down to this point in price, if we make it this far, I'd fully expect price to come down and fill this big gap that we do have before getting bullish reactions to the upside. So if we start to break down and disrespect this daily imbalance, then I'm going to be bearish to this daily sell side, and I'm going to be bearish to this big gap in price. So that is the bearish scenario, and then the bullish scenario is pretty simple. It's just going with the higher time frame trend. Obviously, the markets have been extremely bullish throughout the last month. So if we start to this is our high time frame market structure shift, our hourly swing high within the daily fair value gap. If we start to If we have a market structure shift above this swing high, we start to displace higher, open up bullish fair value gaps, then we can wait for a pullback and execute, looking to see price expand to its daily buy side liquidity. So, yeah, that's kind of the weekly bias, the daily bias going into the first half of the week, this upcoming trading week. Like I said, it's going to be, the big factor is going to be this daily bullish imbalance and whether it holds or not. And we can tell whether it's going to hold or not, like I said, by zooming into the 1 hour chart and seeing the lower time frame structure. It looked bearish here for a second, and then during the PM session on Friday, we had a nice recovery to this swing high here. So whether we displace through it or not is going to determine if I'm going to be bullish or if I'm going to be bearish. But until that happens, I'm kind of I'm a very loose bias until that happens, and I don't honestly want to be trading until we either get displacement higher above this swing high or until we start to confirm a move lower with bearish structure. Until one of those two things happen, like if we just sit here in this range without displacing higher, without displacing below the swing low here, then I kind of want to be hands off, because trades are going to be lower probability at that point, because we don't know we don't have confirmation of direction on the higher time frames, right? The highest probability trades are going to come when we have confirmation of a move on the higher time frames, a higher time frame draw on liquidity, a confident higher time frame draw on liquidity. If we displace higher above the swing high, our higher time frame confident draw on liquidity becomes this daily buy side. If we displace lower below the swing low, our daily high time frame confident draw on liquidity becomes this sell side and this new week opening gap. So we're kind of in the middle of this range here, and that's my current bias. That's my outlook for this upcoming trading week. It's pretty short, pretty simple. Like, I'm going to keep this video pretty short because it's pretty simple. Until we make a move either up or down here, and that sounds very vague, but that is this is the best way to view the market right now. And until we get confirmation, right? Obviously, I would love to be bullish, right? I would just love to be bullish and continue with the bullish trend. If we just place higher above the swing high, that's an easy bias. It's also a pretty easy bias for me. Like, if we come down, run through this bullish imbalance here, and start to get bearish price action, then we can target this daily sell side. So, pretty simple stuff. It's the exact same thing on ES as well, and we're just going to have to wait for. I'm hoping that on Monday, like come Monday, like throughout Asia overnight, come Monday morning open, that the bias becomes a little bit more clear. I think we're gonna have the structure to validate either a move higher or a move lower. But with that being said, let's take a look at the news calendar real quick for this upcoming trading week. All right, so looking at the news. On Monday, we have high impact news 30 minutes into market open. Market opens at 8:30 for me, so 9 a.m. would be 30 minutes into market open, which is good. That's going to bring some good volatility on a Monday morning, so I would much rather prefer that than having a no news Monday. And then at 12 p.m., Fed Chair Powell speaks, so definitely going to be off the charts after the first hour and a half or so of market open. And take advantage of this original volatility. And then same thing on Tuesday, 30 minutes to market open, we have red folder news, which I love having this kind of red folder news early on into the market open. We just got to take that into consideration when entering a trade. Don't want to be entering a trade like right when the news drops. And Wednesday, more high impact news pre-market and 30 minutes into market open again. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 30 minutes into market open, we have high impact red folder news dropping, which should be very good for us as day traders. Should bring some volatility to push us in the pre-existing direction of the draw on liquidity. We should not be scared of having this red folder news. Just cautious of it, like I said, just not entering a trade the minute that it drops. And then Thursday, pre-market, an hour before market opens, unemployment claims, and then Friday, hour before market opens, high impact news. So this trading week is full of volatility, which I love to see. And there's not a specific day in which I feel like we can't trade. I would say the most cautious you want to be is Monday, just because at 12 p.m., We have Powell speaking. So definitely want to be off the charts after the first bit of AM session. But other than that, the weekly outlook for trade for the news looks great. Yeah, man, that's the weekly outlook video. That is my bias for the upcoming week. Those are my current thoughts on the market. Yeah, man. So nothing really much else for me to say other than going to be patient this week. I'm going to continue to be disciplined. We had a good week last week of trading, so gonna bring that over into this week and be patient and attack when the bias and the draw liquidity is super clear and when there's actually real opportunity presented to us. So good luck this trading week. Follow your rules. Be disciplined traders. All that jazz. Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all watching. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out, boys.